Hi, I'm Peter J. Ray. Welcome to Adventures in History. Today's topic is Dearest, Mother and Dad. Love, Ruth, John, Mark, Pamela, and Patricia. Ruth Smallshaw Ray's Letters to Her Parents, 1959, Part 115. 602 Huntmere Drive, Bay Village, Ohio, February 8th, 1959. Dear Mother and Dad, thank you for your nice letters. We've had more of the same here since I last wrote, which accounts for the silence. John teases me about the great detail that I go into in my letters to you, but I like you not to lose complete contact with our life. We're very glad to hear that Janet Ruth was christened and that all was so nice and went well. Very nice that you enjoyed meeting Mrs. Irwin and like her. Did baby Janet wear the christening gown or not? I hope so. Yes, we've had a couple of letters from Aunt Olive. She was wondering about not hearing from me until Pamela wrote to her via John. Pam wants to visit her and cried when Olive wrote to her describing her house and feeding the seagulls. I had sent a paper and she sent us some Punch magazines. I'd like to send her a box of things but don't know what to send. With so much sickness this fall and winter, I've not written letters at all. Since I wrote, Patty fell in the bathtub when I was bathing Pam and somehow got croup again. Then Mark got a fresh cold and cough at school. I got the flu and threw up so much I was on the bathroom floor when John got home about 10:30 p.m. I spent most of the night there. It was the worst I've ever felt. The next day, Pam washed, dried, and put away the dishes, fixed lunch, and did the dishes. John got them breakfast before he left. Then the next day, poor Mark got the flu on top of his bad cough. After that let up, Mark got an ear infection and we put him on sulfa. Then Patty's cough got worse and had a temperature of 103.8, and the doctor came, gave her a penicillin shot, and started her on a new sulfa drug, almost put her in the hospital. Then Pam came down with it. Pam used 3 boxes of Kleenex in a couple of days, and she was on the sulfa. I had a board meeting here, 12 people, and Pamela started throwing up, so I had to go up and change the sheets. Then both her cough and Patty's cough got worse, so yesterday, I took Patty and Mark to the doctor, a penicillin shot for Patty and a cold shot for Mark, and changed both Patty and Pam to Iletis and sulfa that helped Mark. Then I had my shot from the doctor, and he hit something and about paralyzed my arm for a while. I took codeine. I hope we're on the mend now. I had 10 gals here February for my board meeting last May, for I knew it would help speed up my house cleaning. A deadline always helps. I washed the kitchen walls and curtains a couple of weeks ago. Sounds like we were having the same idea. I washed both walls the day I got the flu. Mark said I worked too long and got sick. We had a leak in the living room by the big window. When John fixed it and painted it and a few other spots, I had to wash almost all the walls too to blend it in. Had just planned to wash the woodwork. I also washed the rug again and had forced 3 vases of forsythia, yellow, to bloom. I had yellow twist candles and napkins and yellow dessert, lemon over angel food cake, so everything was very spring-like and nice for the meeting, except for Pam throwing up. I even washed the sofa and cushions and shower curtain. It's been a big job with Patty screaming most of the time. She's getting 4 new molars with her cough, poor baby. We played bridge with Dick and Isabel Stevens one Saturday night and with the Garretts last Saturday. And last night substituted in the church bridge again at a home on the lake, the Wilsons. I hope to get to 7 o'clock a.m. church Wednesday and John to evening church Wednesday. You'll be pleased that we pledged $160 to the church this year. John's grandma Zook flew to California a couple of weeks ago. We went to the airport to see her off. We were last, but John got on the plane to see her. John's folks took us and Dick and Joan to the airport for dinner, then came here and we took movies. Oh, thank you so much for the Valentine books. They arrived one day when Mark and Pam were in bed and thrilled them so and kept them busy too. Pam's dress arrived yesterday. Oh, you shouldn't have, Mother. After I last wrote, I realized I shouldn't have mentioned getting them anything. I meant only if you saw something on sale to save it for their birthday. Then I remembered that things are so expensive up there. I'm always getting them things. Got Mark a red sweater and 5 cardigans for them yesterday. The closets and drawers are overflowing. But Pam loves dresses, so thank you, and she likes it. They were sure they were going on the airplane to see you, and Pam had her doll and clothes packed. They were quite disappointed when they came back from the airport without going on the plane. The children were so good when I was sick, so quiet and took care of themselves. Patty kept walking around the bed and looking in my face and saying, "Hiya." I also had diarrhea with throwing up, and I'm afraid Patty has a touch of it too. I certainly wish I could give you some of this forsythia. I do hope that the Jeans pay you for the babysitting. We pay about $3 or $3.50 every Saturday. I also try to have the children in bed before we leave. The Jeans could trade babysitting too, as I do with one of my neighbors. I watch her little girl sometimes, and sometimes she comes here, when it's convenient. It was up to 40 degrees yesterday, but colder air here today from the north of Montana, so guess you have it colder again too. Soon it will be spring, though, I hope. Ann Duff called to invite us down to Akron. She's expecting their 6th child in July. Her eldest is 7. 4 boys and a girl Patty's age. Ann was on the verge of pneumonia this winter. Her 3 youngest children had scarlet fever over Christmas. Her brother, who is a doctor and has children 2 and 1 year old, had their 8-week-old baby die before Christmas. They put the baby in the crib at 2:30 a.m. and at 8 o'clock a.m. he was dead. A fast-acting virus of pneumonia. And Wayne's sister, Joan's little girl, had her third eye operation. Ann went back to work part-time because she was so tired all the time at home, like a housewife. So I felt guilty, thinking we'd had a tough winter. We just enjoyed the photo of Brian so much. Pam thought it looked like Bud and said, "Oh, I love him, Uncle Bud." Thank you for the Saskatchewan news about the school in Saskatoon. Bud sent it too. Given Cook, the supervising teacher now, began after I started there. She was a divorcee with 2 little girls. I was surprised she hadn't remarried. Her girls must be grown now. Time flies so very fast. Mark has his new top teeth now, growing over the second from the center ones. I will call the dentist tomorrow. Thank you for Mark's coloring pictures. He has them on his walls, and for Pam's cutout books too. I wish you could see them. Good night. Much love from John, Ruth, Mark, Pam, and Patty Ann. Now a letter from Pam. 602 Huntmere Drive, Bay Village, Ohio, February 21st, 1959. Dear Grandma and Grandpa, I love you very much. I wish you could come here someday. When you come here, I'll give you a kiss, Grandma and Grandpa. I hope you come. I'm watching television because I have a cold. I like the Valentines. My voice is not very well the way it was. I went to a Valentine party, and I like being a dancer. Aunt Peggy's little Jeffrey died when he was a baby and went up to Jesus. We went to Aunt Peggy's house. It's too bad he died. This family's had a lot of colds, and we haven't gone to very many houses because we have colds. I like Patty. She's so cute. I like my daddy. My mother's so nice, and Mark too. He's so kind to me. Santa Claus gave me a pink ballerina case, and Joan gave me a pink Easter purse. I gave Miss Donahue a valentine. I danced Little Jack Horner. I like my striped dress and new red snow jacket for school next year. I like playing rummy with my daddy. Little Janny Warner was bouncing in her baby chair for me. When I grow up, I'm going to be a nurse and a baton twirler and take care of sick people. I helped Mother a lot. When she was sick, I did the dishes. When she was cleaning the bathroom, she got sick. I like my pink pajamas I got for Christmas with pink flowers on. There was a river on the way to Peggy's, but we didn't fall in. We went on a bridge. Uncle Dick made an airplane for Mark. We gave the pink plant to Peggy. I was crying. We have new pictures up on the wall in Mother's bedroom. They came from Japan. Love, Pam. 602 Huntmere Drive, Bay Village, Ohio, March 2nd, 1959. Dear Mother and Dad, I just rocked Patty almost to sleep. She's such a love. I remember when I thought I was too busy or something to rock Mark or Pam, but now realize how quickly they grow up, and she just loves to be loved. The very lovely dresses arrived for Pam and Patty, and a shirt for Mark. You were certainly extravagant. There was no duty. Those prices seemed very high, but they are so nice. I guess I'm too Scotch. I've been watching a dress I liked for Pam at $5.98, and it's now $4.98, but still too much. I got her one for $1.50, just cotton, of course. The ones you sent are so nice and all look good on her. John liked the red chemise best, but I liked it better with a belt, but we'll let her decide, and she likes it straight. I shortened the blue plaid a little as she wanted to wear it to Sunday school, then she decided to wear the striped instead. We had quite a fashion show Saturday. The plaid for Patty's is so cute. I put it on her and she thought she was Queen of May. She went and got Pam's ballet kit and ran around as if she were going to dancing school. She looked so funny as the dress is too big yet, of course, but she thought she was lovely. I plan to lengthen it and let Pam wear it with a red cardigan sweater to school until Patty grows into it. Later I think they'll be able to wear the red dresses together as the new red can be lengthened too. Pam has a better wardrobe than I do. I bought her 5 new cardigan Orlan. They were marked down from $3.98 to $1.44 each, so I got a yellow, red, pink, white, and a blue for $1. Mark has yellow, red, and blue too, so they're well set. Mark wore his new blue plaid to school today, and it looks nice. He also has a red and white and a red and black plaid. So thank you so much, and I'll send you the money for them. I'm glad to send the slippers. The slide case and slides were for you, your anniversary presents, since the apricot brandy didn't work out. I thought you could keep all the other slides you have of our children and Bud's too. We would like you to plan to visit us if you could. When do you think you could come? The children are at such a good age now. I would like you to see them and get to know them. We had a nice week, such a nice weekend. Saturday, John took care of the children while I went to a luncheon, style show, and card party downtown at Higbee's. I took Lynn, a neighbor, Millie Mashner, wife of John's friend from the lab at de Beckman, and Char McQuilkin, wife of the J.C. president this year and John's friend. Millie lives in Fairview Park, south of us, and Char in Lakewood, so we took 1.25 hours to get down. Lynn has 3 girls, ages 5, 3, and 1. Millie, a boy 3 and a girl 1, and Char, a girl 4, boy 2, and expecting in August. So we really chattered all afternoon. Left at 11 o'clock a.m. and got back about 6:40 p.m. We were the last table to leave. I won a mink fur corsage pin thing valued at $13.56 and won the table prize of a cheese knife, but insisted Millie take that. The Bay Junior women sponsored it and the raffle of a mink stole. They gave the proceeds of $585.70 to the Easter Seal Girl Crippled Children's Society and had more money to give later. Saturday night it snowed all night, and Sunday it snowed again, so we took Patty for her first sled ride this winter, and John took movies. Mark was out at 9 o'clock a.m. and shoveled the walks, his own idea. He's a gem. Then we all went to church, the first time we've all been well since last summer. Patty won't leave me, so won't stay in the nursery by herself. I talked with Hannah, and she has had varicose veins. So has Char, and so has Anne. Hannah had flowers on the altar for her mother a week ago. Then we went to Akron to see the Duffs. There are 5 children, our 3 and her brother Stu and a friend, 11 children there and 6 adults. Didn't seem crowded. We had a nice visit. Anne looks fine for expecting her 6th child, and the children played fine for the 2 hours we stayed. Marge looked unhappy. Her baby died at Christmas. John's bowling tonight, and I have a Junior Chamber of Commerce Women's Board meeting Wednesday. They have asked me to be chairman of the nominating committee, and I ran again for board and officer. I'm secretary now. I don't plan to run again, though. I said I'd be chairman of the nominating committee, and that's all. I have consented today to be chairman for Huntmere Drive and Parkside for the Easter Seal Drive, March 15th, and got most of my workers today. Even though we have too many drives and money not always goes to the right places, I feel that anything that can be done should. I am so lucky that even if someone is helped a little, it's worth it. Last week, Wednesday, I went to a lovely luncheon at a big house on the lake in Rocky River on Beechcliff Boulevard. As I have mentioned, John is chairman of the Lake Erie Nature and Science Center Museum Fund Drive, and Marilyn Garrett asked me to be the women's group luncheon. They've asked me before, but I haven't been up to it and hate to leave the children in the daytime. It was lovely. Huge home, about 35 girls. We had many salads and pecan rolls and barbecued chicken, several casseroles, a wonderful lunch, and coffee, dessert, and chocolate, and a very fashionable group of girls, mink stoles, etc. They are also raising money to help the Junior Museum, contacting groups under John's guidance, too. Thursday morning, I took Patty out to Peggy's in Berea while Pam was at dancing. She seemed to be doing well. I took her some forsythia and baking. She's very stout, though. It's about a 25-minute drive there, lots of winding roads. I haven't found it tiring. I felt so much better since taking Ted Zook's recommended extra vitamins. My throat's still sore, but otherwise I feel much better. Aunt Olive had mentioned both her trip to America several years ago and lately too, and her Christian Science, but I wondered if you planned to drive to Boston when you asked for the road map. We could have sent it to her if you'd told us why you wanted it. Harold and Marge Freilich are moving to Portland, Maine, not too far from Boston. They bought a redwood ranch home with half an acre of land, a half-mile from the ocean. Bud met Harold and Marge and their 3 children at Lakeside. Pamela phoned and invited Clarice, Lynn's eldest, to come over tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock and play, and then stay for lunch. Tonight, Pam was dancing when Patty started singing and stretching her hands up and trying to, but every time she tried to go up on her toes, she lost her balance, which she thought was hilarious. Remember those receiving blankets you bought the day you left? You were so sick and never should have gone out, nor on the airplane. Well, Patty has grown so attached to them, and I can use no others. She drags them around the house. It's a good thing there are 2 so I can wash one. They are getting thinner, not as soft as when they were new, but she just loves them. One day I was making up her crib and she started yelling and tugging. I'd tried to put one on the crib, but she had to have it out. Friday she was so quiet I went in and there she was pulling back the blankets, unmaking the crib to get her banky, as Pamela calls it. Pam, too, has been like that, so attached to the soft part and even still at night, and has to get a corner to hold on to. When Patty gets tired, we give her banky, and she'll lie anywhere with her head on it bunched up. This morning she had it wound around her head when we went in. John says she's often like that in the night. On the way back from Akron, Ohio, Pam and Patty were fighting over it. Pam wanted it on her legs, but Patty doesn't like anyone else to have it. It's real love. Mark and Patty get along just fine. Pam wore her red dress to Akron and Ann admired it, the old one. It really is Pam. The blue sweater I got matches the blue plaid, and I got her blue leotights. She has red ones too, legging or stockings. Again, many thanks for going out on a cold morning early. I know how hard that is for you and sending such lovely quality dresses. I hope you plan to see your grandbabies soon. Love, John, Ruth, Mark, Pam, and Patty Ann. 602 Huntmere Drive, Bay Village, Ohio, March 5th, 1959. Dearest folks, we had such a nice time tonight. We went to the family potluck supper and Lenten service at church, all of us tonight. John and I agreed that it really gives a new perspective for us to go out as a family, and we are so proud of them too, and they do behave so well. I was up at 6:20 a.m. and went to 7 a.m. communion yesterday and the board meeting until 2 o'clock a.m. last night over in Shaker Heights. We were late getting to the supper tonight, for John gets home so late, so not much food was left for us. The way they planned it is for each family to take either a casserole, dessert, or salad for twice the number of the family, and then each group of the church takes on Thursday to provide coffee, rolls, and cleanup. Tonight it was the vestry. You also take your own milk. Then they have classes for the children and church service and a talk in the church for adults. I first took Patty into the church, but she keeps on singing when everyone stops. Then she cried when I leave her in the nursery, so I ended up helping in the nursery. She was the youngest anyway. About 150 people all there. Pam wore her red dress, an older one, but still I like it best, although she now prefers the striped one, but I feel she won't be able to wear the red much longer. I haven't had to wash it yet and wonder if it might not be better to have it dry cleaned when I put it away for Patty. Mark wore his red sweater. Tomorrow the red jacket you sent, for John is taking them to a Big Brother dinner and program. Patty wore a red skirt and white blouse, and everyone remarked on how grown-up she looks. Saturday, we fair three get shots, and John's folks are dropping in on the way home from the flower show. Sunday, I hope to invite Ruth Bender to dinner. Do you think Doris would like some of Mark's clothes, little white jacket? I hope to have some more baby boys, would like one next February or March, so would not want them to be worn out. Today, while I ironed, Pam was watching Lana Turner in a movie on TV, Marriage is a Private Affair, and when her boyfriend came in, Pam said, "Don't you two get together. Get away from each other. You belong to Tom and little Tommy," her husband and son. I was so impressed. I'm watching Green Dolphin Street with Lana Turner now. The setting is New Zealand and the Maori Indians. And I'm mending. Good night. Love, John, Ruth, Mark, Pam, and Patty Ann. Now, one of the letters from Ruth, she had an enclosure, a letter from Mark. Dear Grandma and Grandpa, thank you for the doctor's kit. It is the nicest I ever had. I love you, Mark. And then there was another letter from Mark in his own handwriting. So he'd learned how to write in school, apparently. Dear Grandma, thank you for the Valentines. I want you to come here. Love, Mark. To be continued. Now we have 3 comments based on the original publication. And the first is from Tessa J. Delina, the former secretary of Restless Educational Center in San Juan, Metro Manila, Philippines. Dear Mr. Ray, my warmest greetings to you and your family. I just finished reading SFMC number 47, and as always, I always look forward to reading the next issues. Mark reminds me of your son, Timmy, all grown up. It seems like it was only yesterday when I first saw him, when he was just 3 days old. Both the girls, Pam and Patty, are little darlings. I liked reading the letters of Mark and Pam as well as the drawings of Mark. They look cute. Ruth and John, despite all of the family problems regarding rearing up their children, still loved every minute of it, taking care of their children. Until your next issues, again, thank you. Sincerely yours, Tessa J. Delina, Quezon City, Philippines. Now we have a comment from John S. Ray, Ruth's husband and my dear father. Dear editor, SFMC number 43 was most enjoyable. I particularly enjoyed the burst of humor from your mother when she was in Columbus shopping. A man came up to her and asked her where she was from. She told him that she was from Bay Village and was in Columbus to see Dr. Sam Shepard, who was in prison for murdering his wife. She thought the man believed her. I enjoyed seeing the pictures of your mother with her big hat. We had very pleasant memories of the Great Lakes cruise, an exciting national JC convention in Kansas City when Wendell Ford was elected national president. Wendell later appointed me as chairman of the USJC's On to Tokyo Committee. He is still serving as U.S. Senator from Kentucky. Looking forward to the big trip to New Zealand and Australia. Love, Dad. And another letter from John S. Ray. Dear Editor, SFMC number 44 is just priceless. It brings back so many forgotten wonderful memories. On page 560, Pamela said at her breakfast, "Don't you ever go to New Zealand again." And a big tear rolled down her cheek. A very insightful comment by your mother on page 564. I'm convinced that all the talk I hear about the capitalist keeping the working man down is wrong. The capitalist works harder, that's all, and the average fellow works his 8 hours a day, sleeps, drinks, and watches television, while the enterprising man works day and night to get ahead and do things for other people. Another great one-liner from Mark, a tape which John had made was being played on the radio while John was home, and Mark said, "How did you get out of there?" What a trooper your mother was and is. The day before we left for New Zealand and Australia, she packed the children and almost everything they owned in the car and drove to Sandusky alone to deliver the children to Grandma, who watched them while we were gone. On page 573, Pamela came up with a real gem. After Mark had complimented her, she gave him a big hug, kissed him, and said, "Why, thank you, Mark, and God bless your little soul." For some reason, Mark wanted a gun when he was little, and we refused to get him one. He said, "Daddy won't buy me a gun. You won't buy me a gun. Grandma won't get me a gun. Santa Claus won't bring me a gun, so I've got to go out and get my own gun." Thereafter, John bought him a rifle which shot corks, which made Mark very happy. John said, "Isn't it wonderful how happy you can make someone with 98 cents? Mark thought it was a good arrangement when Daddy came home so Ruth could go out. An outstanding issue. Love, Dad. John S. Ray, Rocky River, Ohio. And there's another comment from John S. Ray. My father. Dear Editor, SFMC number 47 read and enjoyed. My memory of all the sickness which the children had when they were small has dimmed. I just don't know how we all, and your mother in particular, managed to get through it all. The picture of Patricia on the cover is just beautiful. Mark and Pam were both so helpful. Keep up the good work. Love, Dad. John S. Ray, Rocky River, Ohio. To be continued. Well, that concludes today's presentation. Good luck to you with your efforts in family history if this interests you. Finding, preserving, and sharing old letters, diaries, photographs, family movies and videos, and interviewing elderly relatives while they're alive. You might consider checking out our website, Adventures in History with Peter J. Ray at peterjray.com. So far, we have made 673 history videos in 7 areas: world history, American history, book reviews, poetic tours, Cleveland baseball, family history, and autobiography. There's a donate feature. You might consider making a donation so we can continue making these videos. You also might consider checking out our podcast, Adventures in History, at Anchor FM, Peter Ray, REA. If you live in Metro Manila, Philippines, and are looking for a high school, you might consider Res Celeste Educational Center. Res Celeste is located in San Juan, Metro Manila, Philippines, in Barangay Maytunas on Allenby Street, off of Wilson Street, not far from the corner of P. Guevara and Wilson Street. At Res Celeste, we specialize in helping young people who have had difficulty in the larger traditional high schools. And it's more than a school, it's a warm and supportive community and a family-type environment, and we try to be creative and innovative. And the website is resceleste.education, RESALEST. Thanks so much for watching. Really appreciate it. God bless you. Take care. And I'll see you next time.